Hey everyone, we're going to take a look at a game today called Dark Souls for Babies, or free-to-play Dark Souls for Babies, or by its given name, Ascend the Hand of Kull. And I think my name is pretty appropriate because it is a single-player game that takes a lot of design cues from things like Dark Souls, where there's sort of an asynchronous multiplayer aspect to this game. And you'll see on top there is what I'm going to show you first, where you can be invaded by other players. But not like in Dark Souls, kind of right in the middle of what you're doing. It's more of a territory-based thing. So let's take a look at that. In the menu here, you'll see the free-to-play coming through already. We have this store showing off all the crap that we can buy. Up top right, you can purchase souls by pressing the Y button. And you'll see I only have 3,706 souls, and everything costs way more than that. And also there are tons of things to buy. So here's my armor. I have one item in my inventory and then all the sale items down here. And then there are all these sections. So armor, gauntlets, boots, weapons, everything has something that you can buy. But let's get out of here and go to the map. And you'll see this is the local area map. And as I zoom out here, you can see the other areas and go out more. And I can go to this different zone, Mount Crimhorn, and that's where we're being invaded right now. So in the center of those three icons on the map there, you can see one of them is yellow. So we're going to go warp to invasion. And this is where you're not fighting other players, but you're fighting... So this is who I'm going to fight. And I'm not fighting this guy, Prodigy Factor, but I am fighting one of his characters, basically, that's going to be controlled by the computer. So there he is, and the aim of this game is you're sort of this big giant warrior for these new gods or old gods. I forget which one they are, but you're fighting in the name of your god, and you're trying to capture different territories so that they can be worshipped and whatnot, as gods tend to do. So I'm fighting for the Dark God, and this guy is he the Light God, or... I forgot to look before we go in. Usually when you see ghosts, they're color-coded for their god. But what happens is, as you play the single-player game, you level up your dude, and... I don't have any guys here? Okay, so I'm gonna eat this cow. Or this ram, or whatever this thing is. And that's going to help me heal up. But what happens is, your little guys that worship your god can help you out here. And as you take territory, you'll have these shrines. So you want to take control of these shrines, and that's what he's trying to do to me right now. And as you level up your guy in the single-player game, when you finish, you hit the level cap or whatever, or when you just get bored of that character, you can ascend them, and that basically sends them off into the cloud, as tech companies would call it. And they're gonna fight on their own. They're gonna randomly invade other players' games and take control or try and take control of these shrines. So I defeated him, and now I can, I guess, warp back to where I want to go, where I was before. So you see, these are all the little tiny humans, and these green guys are for the Light God, I think. But I have red guys of my own, which is one of the great features of this game, because you see how they climb up you, sort of a reverse God of War situation. Well, likewise, when you have your own little humans around you, you can actually call them to climb up you, and they'll be little artillery for you. They'll shoot arrows at whatever enemies are around you, and that's a great feature. So I'm gonna run around this single-player area, and then we'll take a look at this mission, and then we'll go back. We'll ascend this guy, see what that's about, and then we'll create a new character who can be aligned to a different god. So this guy is aligned to the Dark God, who is the Strength one of the three. The three gods are Dark, Void, and Light. And this guy's really, really slow, and I'm hoping that when I create a new character, we can try the Void or the Light God, and they'll be a lot faster, because one of my big gripes with the combat in this game is that it is kind of slow. You see these heavy attacks are really, really slow. And when you're fighting bigger enemies, that can be really frustrating, because they'll just keep interrupting your attacks, and your heavy attacks don't really interrupt them that much. So it can get very, very frustrating. So right now I'm doing this wave, everything's wave-based combat. To capture the shrines is wave-based, to destroy these troll boil things, which are just kind of random encounters or instances, it's wave-based, and you gotta fight these guys. And my other big gripe with the game comes in here as well, which is that I've only seen, besides the larger enemies, there's only 4 enemies. There's these trolls and these witch doctor guys, who are incredibly frustrating because they teleport every time you hit them and they keep on shooting at you, and I'm playing this slow guy. There are some weird crawling bat things, and there are these little dudes with shields. And I've played several hours of the game, and these are the only 4 enemies that I've fought over and over and over again. So that can get very frustrating. You die, please. Oh yeah, and they explode when you hit them, when you kill them. Great, so that's taken care of. So remember how I said this game is a free-to-play game? Notice how my bracers are glowing red. That is because, similar to Dark Souls, you have to worry about repairing your equipment. If it breaks, it won't be broken forever or anything like that, but it will stop giving you the benefit that you want from it. So, mine are flashing red because they're at 8% durability, and guess what? I need to repair them, and that costs money. 743 souls. So, this game kind of keeps you poor. It's like the rich get richer and the poor get poorer sort of thing, where you just keep trying to repair your armor so you can go and quest and get more souls, but it costs you so many souls to keep your stuff repaired. And you find this vendor trash, 183 souls, whoop-de-doo. That's not really helping me out too much. Okay, so we got a boss fight here. And now I gotta kill these guys, because they're gonna keep climbing on me. So irritating. So this is the large enemy, and this whole game, this story is sort of based around size. The gods obviously being the biggest, and you're kind of in the middle. You're way bigger than the humans and most of the little enemies, but you have to deal with these giant monsters from time to time. So these humans are really, really annoying. You can see how low my health has gotten. It's down to 550 on the bottom left there. But they are useful because you can eat them and get health. But I've killed too many of them because they were shooting arrows at me. So you can't really blame me. So the boss fights are not that fun in this game. These guys, they're incredibly, incredibly annoying. I'm sure they would be more fun if I had paid a bunch of real money and gotten a bunch of spells and things like that. That would be probably a lot of fun. It would be great. But I haven't done that because I've been trying to see where I can get in this game without spending a bunch of money. But you can, I mean, I've been able to play the game. It hasn't been, like, so far, it hasn't been just getting in my way completely. But you can see I'm really not doing that great. And the top, on the left side there, where it says Hide Skull Mask Depleted, that is the other aspect of this free-to-play thing, where that was just a useful message. That's fine. But it will tell you every time you level up, and I'm pretty close, it will tell you, oh, you've unlocked this. There's things available in the store. And sometimes it'll say 4 different messages which you just can't get rid of. They just float up there until they decide to go away. So it gets a little irritating shoving all the free-to-play stuff in your face, but it is a fun game so far. I'm kind of enjoying it. So you can see there is some aspect of that animation-based combat, that timing-based combat, where you have to really watch out for their attacks, but there's no dodge button. There's just this dash, and it just doesn't feel the same. It feels like it's missing something. And now I'm gonna die. Alright, so I'm almost dead, but I'm not dead. So what I end up having to do is kind of run away and just stay out of danger. He'll stay in his area, and I will be able to walk around out here and just wait for my health to recover. So when you're out of danger, your health will regenerate. And then I can just kind of stand here and choose him with fireballs a little bit. See, here's just a random message to upgrade my weapon. So all this stuff aside, the networking, the multiplayer aspect is actually very cool. So we have this guy over here who is fighting the same boss as us, right? You see that little ghost running around, so it looks like he's a void player. And that's not our faction, at least at the moment. So I'm going to throw one more fireball at this guy, and let's go into the menu, and I'll pick up a spell. So there's two types of spells. The spells section is just regular spells that you can use during the game, and you can see I have to do a whole bunch of stuff in the single player story to unlock these things. But then the crusade spells are things that actually affect other players. So we have this curse, Infernal Hounds, and that's going to send Infernal Hounds into somebody else's world. And one of the best things is Banish, which takes those small enemies from your world and actually sends them into the enemy's world. So I'm going to buy one of those, but I can't use it right now because there's none of those small enemies, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to work on that big boss fight. So I'll pick up some of these Dark Broodlings. And if I hold down left trigger, you'll see on the bottom right, my spells turn into the Crusade spells. Alright, so we finally finished this guy off. And now we get this little God of War-y finishing move. And we've got this ghost fighting here, right? Okay, so we gotta talk to God, Ogres and Mighty Beasts, blah, blah, blah. Great. So I guess we'll demonstrate her power. But first, let's go screw with this guy. Even though he's on our team, he's the one who's here. So I can curse this guy with Dark Broodlings. So you see that flashing arrow above him is my target in case there are more players. And he's wounded, so he's not doing great. He probably doesn't want this to happen right now, but it's happening. So you see I plant this thing in his world, and now he's got to fight off these Dark Broodlings. And he managed to destroy it pretty quickly because I planted it right next to him. But that is the basic idea of how the curses work. And then planting a... Oh no, so he sent one back to me. Now his is even worse. He's got the Dark Witch Doctor. So we got to fight these guys off. And you get some kind of bonus. It's not just for griefing, even though it's mostly for griefing. Actually, let's see if the banish thing works. Maybe I can banish them right back to his world. So my leather harness is depleted, now I'm naked. And now he's got to fight off these things that he sent into my world. So that is the multiplayer aspect of Ascend. And it is actually very, very cool. I like it a lot. So finally, I get some kind of cool weapon here. And now this has, it looks like 2 slots for runes. So those are another thing, yet another thing that you can buy. So over here, there's the runes tab. And these are basically add resistances, add damage, blah, blah, blah. What you'd expect from some kind of runes. And there are these little story things. They're kind of boring, but they are here if you're interested in the story. So here's one of these shrines, and now I have to actually kill 100 of these little dudes. So I'm going to switch to this, and let's see if this works. It's actually probably easier to just let them climb on me and then shake them off. Okay, so I've killed all the humans, and now I need to desecrate the altar, which is just literally a guy standing on a giant bloody pyramid. And we chop his head off, and then we're all good. We took control. So over here we have the Grey Tomb, and there's all these dungeons scattered around the world. You can go through, explore them. It's very like MMO-esque, where you can just go in there, get some loot, and fight a mini-boss or whatever. And then here's all our humans, and then some of them, the shirtless ones, they're not very useful. They're good for eating. The ones with shirts, they have weapons, and they can just climb up on you. Let's turn around so we get a even distribution. And they'll just kind of hang out on you, and they will shoot arrows at whatever messes with you. Other enemy players or, you know, just random enemies. Everything. It's pretty great. It's really useful. It would be nice in real life to have a bunch of, like, a coat of humans to wear. So I could just keep going and playing the single player game, but I could also ascend my character so that he'll go out and fight other stuff and I'll get souls or whatever the hell he's going to give me. We're going to find out hopefully. And then I can make a new character. So if I do that right now, I will get this emblem of demonic strength, and that basically changes from time to time, once a day or every 12 hours or whenever it is. And if you ascend at this moment, you will get this emblem, and that applies to all of your characters from here on out. So it encourages you to ascend your character maybe sooner than you wanted to. And if you want to just level them up all the way, there is a level cap for ascending your character. So let's ascend this and see what happens. Alright, so this is cool. So I can choose what items I can pass on to my future characters. So I definitely want to see if I can pass on this weapon. So yes. Yes, of course I do. Why would I not? It's amazing. And... oh, okay. So I have to purchase legacy pillars, naturally. I should have seen that one coming. But I got the important thing, which is this awesome sword. So here are the 3 gods, and this is different from when we're creating our character. This is to choose, I guess, what our ascended character will fight on. So darkness offers us blah 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 blah. And you see the reward up top. We get 2 cursed dark broodling curses. We'll get 7,500 souls for joining the void, and the void seems to be the one that nobody's joining. And over here we'll get 7,500 souls again for the light. So everyone's on the dark, and the light and the void are kind of hurting, and you get more for whoever needs you the most, basically, which is kind of an interesting thing. So let's do the void. So this is the character creation section, and it's the same thing. There's a bunch of free stuff, and then there's a bunch of stuff you need to buy. So if you want to have a stupid purple guy, it's actually going to cost you quite a bit. So let's just go up and pick one of these colors. Just basically recreating my guy here. So I'm back in the game. I fought somebody off and converted this altar, and I've got a bunch of blue guys chilling on my shoulders, and I'm a blue guy now. I have 11. I'm level 11. And you can see the map has changed slightly, but I'm kind of at the same place in my story, and now I'm just a different guy aligned to a different god. But the gameplay is still the same, and I can kind of pick up where I left off, just slid back a little bit in levels, but I still have my sweet sword. So now I can warp to whatever this thing's about. Oh, I don't need to warp because I'm right here. So let's do it. Let's fight this guy. So let's check out the Crusade menu. We can see what our Ascended Champion did. So here I need to get up to level 20 before I can ascend, and the level cap has gone up to 25. Here's the map, and you can see the Void really not doing so great. Not a lot of Void supporters. And then I have my one champion here, and he hasn't done much. He's just controlling 1 point. Not a lot going on with him because it's been 5 minutes, but we can check in on his progress whenever we want to. And then here's the weekly challenge. So it's just seeing who can kill the most enemies, and Light seems to be leading today, or this week. So I'm going to send some guys into this Light guy's world because we don't like the Light. And that is Ascend, Hand of Kull. And I hope you enjoyed it. Go check it out. It is free. It costs no money. It's on Xbox Live Arcade.
It's been too long, Ding Chavez. You and me, tactically shooting people in the face. But you changed, didn't you, Ding? The lure of consoles was too much for you.